Dallas City Council members Paula Blackmon and Adam Bazaldua, welcome to Ion Politics. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So let's talk. How surprising was the news that Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia is leaving the city of Dallas and becoming an assistant city manager in the city of Austin? Councilmember Blackmon, we'll start with you.
I mean, I am surprised at the move, especially since we went through the exercise in September. But I'm not surprised because I know that Chief Garcia wanted to get into management for his last part of his career. So I applaud him for that. But, I was totally taken by surprise at the announcement and the where and how it all unfolded.
Councilmember Bazaldua.
Yes, it was definitely a surprise to me. I would say the timing is what I have the most issue with. I don't know that there's an ideal time to see such a change with the impact that Chief Garcia made as he was here. So we were going to feel that no matter what. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more of a lead time to get prepared for what this would look like. But just as Paula said, this is really great for Chief Garcia. I'm happy for him and his family in the next chapter of his life. And I also know how data driven he is as a police chief, and I believe that translating to city management is something that Austin will benefit from.
And let me ask, the fact that, would you both describe this as you were blindsided, and whose fault is that?
I mean, I think I could call it that. I don't know if fault can be blamed, but I have been involved in comms where you have sensitive issues like this that unfold, and you have a process and you go through the process. Somewhere along the way, somebody skipped a spot and leapfrogged and went right to, moving a memo and putting it publicly. So I don't think it's blame, but I do think there may have been some key missteps.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with what Councilmember Blackmon said. This was a blindside because we didn't have any heads up, of course, and there were missteps. I think that above all else that we could talk about on what that means, I think ultimately it was most unfair to Chief Garcia. This is his news after giving 3 decades to law enforcement in his career. I think that he would have probably liked to have figured out how to tell the public, and I know that he would have liked to have had more extensive conversations with his rank and file before it went public. So overall, there were definitely missteps, and that part is unfortunate. But the reality is if this is what his next step is, then it was only a matter of time.
And so let me ask you, both of you seem to blame the Dallas Hero Initiative, these 3 proposed charter amendments, among them one that would require the city to have and maintain 4,000 police officers and increase starting salaries. And I'm wondering, what impact do you think this had on the chief's decision, and how this will impact the November election on these amendments?
Let me ask you, Jack, how long have you been in journalism?
Well, I've been in the business for a long time, but let me ask you just about the impact.
Well, I'm asking because, with a professional, a seasoned professional who takes their job very serious, how would you feel after decades of giving your career to a profession to be undermined and micromanaged from millionaires with a political agenda? I don't believe that that's why any police chief signs up to wear the badge and to take the helm of a department. And that's overall what it is that we're looking at. This is the first of many dominoes, in my opinion, to see fall because of the impact that these draconian measures would have on our city, and the level of talent that we're able to attract, retain, recruit is absolutely going to be impacted if they don't feel that we're a functioning city. And this pulls the function out of our government.
Councilmember Blackmon?
And Jack, the timing is kind of interesting, right? I mean, these are on the ballot, and we had it settled in May, and now our police chief is leaving. So the timing is pretty interesting. And he told us, 900 officers, getting them trained and on the street is almost impossible. And it's about $175 million price tag. We were fighting over a $400,000 library staying open. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when we either raise taxes or we cut our services? So these are very, very harsh amendments. They seem benign, but the ripple effect is unbelievable. And it's just interesting that, we had it all settled back in the late spring, early summer, and then now these measures are on the ballot and he's leaving. So it's kind of interesting. And I do feel that it's going to play a part in hiring a new police chief and even hiring our city manager. And, frivolous lawsuits add up in costs. So, it could affect our city attorney when that time comes. So these amendments are not as useful to the city as what would one seem to think.
And let me just pick up on something that you both said, and that is the impact on the budget. Why would it have such an impact on the budget?
Because
Well,
go ahead.
hiring 900 officers has a price tag of $175 million. And any price tag of $175 million now is going to continue to increase each fiscal year ahead. We have to look at what Chief Garcia said about growing responsibly. And if we grow too rapid, it's going to absolutely diminish the quality of talent that we're going to be able to recruit. But at the same time, we don't even have the capacity to train that amount of officers. And then we've even paid money for a consultant. KPMG has told us what our sweet spot number should be. We've heard from officers and the associations what the level of manpower should be in the department, and no one has suggested that 4,000 is obtainable or necessary.
What is the sweet spot?
It's about 3,600 officers.
Yes.
And go ahead.
And he's right. I mean, it comes with the price tag. And, if you think about it, our quality of life portfolio will be wiped out. Parks, libraries, arts and culture, done. And I don't think that's what a balanced city is. A balanced city has all those things plus public safety. And so being responsible at growing a budget is what we're tasked with. And I think this would really harm what we think Dallas is and should be.
And what do you say to, the Dallas Hero Initiative? The executive director says that the city council hasn't been responsive enough. What do you say to that?
Well, it's funny to hear that someone says we weren't responsive when through the entire process of collecting signatures and crafting language for ballot measures, no one in the city was contacted or consulted, including the police chief. If we are looking at finding solutions for a problem, then to me, it is most critical to work with those who not only know the system the best, but also who will be impacted by it. And I would have loved to have seen if the voters wanted to initiate something, that it was done collaboratively and it was done so thoughtfully and with the stakeholders at the table. And Chief Garcia probably could have helped craft something that was feasible, that wasn't going to hurt our city. And so I wouldn't say, I think that it's talking points. It's really easy to frame up what they would like to see, but it's very clear, especially if you follow the money, that there is a political agenda from a far right political group, and there are millionaires, billionaires, even outside of our city limits, who are trying to dictate what happens in the city of Dallas. And I don't believe the residents of Dallas are going to stand for that.
Well, and also too, we have been responsive. Whatever the police department has asked for in budget and equipment, we've given it. So, and they know what, because they are the professionals. They know how many we need, how many we can train, how many we can hire. And so we're following their lead, and they're doing a great job. So to say we're unresponsive, I think is a false statement.
And let me just give you one last chance to just talk about the impact Chief Garcia has had on the police department, crime in the city, et cetera. Councilman
I am appreciative of the time that the chief has spent with us. He's brought data that has been mentioned. He's brought a crime plan. He uses outside professionals and gets really in the micro. So he knows that if we want to bring our overall crime down, we need to focus on those violent crime numbers. And he is consistently and effectively working those areas with the manpower he has. And I think we're not going to go back. I think we are going to keep using. I mean, his crime plan is a dynamic document, and I think it's not going to just die on the vine. I think we are going to keep using it. And he's got a bench. He's got great rank and file below him and his command staff that can step up, I believe, and fill in. So he's put us in a good place. He's left us a legacy, and it's up to us to carry it through.
Councilmember Bazaldua.
I would say that Chief Garcia's tenure here was that there's a lot of positives that I could say. The first and foremost, though, is the morale reset that our department had under his leadership. There's no question about it. After 2020, I think police departments as a whole needed a reset when it came to morale and even accountability. And the amount of trust that was put into Chief Garcia in this role really resulted in a 180 when it comes to the morale at the Dallas Police Department. Any leader is only as good as who they're leading. And I will say that we may lose Chief Garcia, but Chief Garcia, by and large, is only as good as he is as a chief because of the department that he has underneath him. And they're staying. We have our officers here. We have the ones who are doing the work inside the community. And the leadership that that Chief Garcia has put in place here will remain. And I'm very excited to see that the department has had that shift, is going to be able to move forward with this reset, use the tools and the mindset even that Chief Garcia has instilled in our department that has really changed how we approach violent crime in a very thoughtful way, but also looking past just the crime data and seeing what the correlation is to our poverty levels and where we can invest more in community and try and close in some of the gaps to what has contributed to that crime. So overall, Chief Garcia has done what he came here to do, and I think that we're a better city for it.
Dallas City Council members Adam Bazaldua and Paula Blackmon, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.